Okay, hello everyone, welcome back, good evening. It is a Sunday evening and we are seeing a pump like this. I don't know whether I should be happy or concerned. Concerned because of the whole CME gap mumbo jumbo, which I'm not sure I fully believe in. Nonetheless, we are met with a resistance. 0.382 from Fibonacci is looking like 112,000 resistance on Bitcoin that we are currently trying to break out of as best as we can. My position has finally gone positive. Huge pump just very recently for whatever reason. And by huge, I mean a 2% pump on Bitcoin. Doesn't seem like much, but believe me, it is a lot. We went from zero volatility over the weekend, ranging around 109, 110, and then finally we broke out of that. And we immediately shot up to 112,000. Did we get a lot of shorts liquidated or what? That's what I want to check here first. And what I mean by CME gap, by the way, is over the weekend, the CME futures, they're closed on the markets, right? We did get some liquidations over here, but I don't think it was too big. Maybe about $1 billion. But still, we got a lot more to be liquidated at 113. That seems like a sweet spot. Whatever next pump that we can get should start liquidating shorts at around 113,000, which should immediately take us up to 113,500. So that's a guaranteed pump. And we should see a slowdown at about 114,000 before that. So 114,000, I would say, your next resistance, which that clearly reflects. We have new pivot levels. I drew a Fibonacci resistance level detector, whatever. So it seems like 113,200 first. That should immediately break us out from there, and we should see a slowdown as we approach 114,000 as we see over here. Super trend flipped green for sure, meaning that this downtrend line being broken signifies that it is gone forever, and we can now look for uptrends from here. We broke through a lot of them, and I deleted most of them, so I'm going to have to go to a larger time frame to draw the new uptrends. Unless I'm drawing one from September 1st bottom, which I don't think so. I think it should be much longer. Because in the grand scheme of things, that's what we should be paying attention to. The long term. So let me go to... I don't know if weekly chart is overkill. Oh, we still got this uptrend. Very, very old, though. Considering we just bottomed out the week there at 108, 109, I think we can draw from... This is April 7. I don't know, it's going to be rough to draw this. I'm going to go to a daily chart instead. Weekly chart is still looking good, by the way. So that's nice. Yeah, this... I don't know where exactly to put it. Maybe here. I think this is the short-term uptrend that we're going to start seeing as we, you know, approach the 114,000. We could retrace, and if we do, we'll be retracing to this uptrend line. The one that we drew from April 7. April 9, really. And then if we are considering anything like longer term, we could look at maybe this one. I don't know which specific uptrend line to look out for, but nonetheless, all of them point up, and that is the good thing. We'll see, you know, it's good to have these fanned out in the meantime until we determine our footing, because this rise, I don't know if I fully trust it. A lot of people on CT do not trust it either, to be honest. But that's part of the game, and I couldn't find any relevant news as to why specifically we are pumping on low volatile periods. Like, this is the kind of stuff that we should be expecting. You could argue, yep, futures markets opened, Asian markets, you know, they're already in a Monday morning by now, so maybe they're the ones causing the pump. That could probably explain it. I'm not complaining, like, this is totally fine. Some assets in my portfolio are finally turning green, those being Ethereum. World Liberty Finance was already kind of green, but now it's really green, so that's good. Solana is also in the green. I don't remember if I disclosed this purchase to you guys, but I must have already. Yeah, I think I might have bought more. That's what the case was. And Hyperliquid, I actually took profit on it yesterday and re-entered another order at the same entry price It came back down because I was seeing hyperliquid pump over the weekend as well, and I was like, this is not natural. So we bought twice, which put our average price at around 43. It started rising to around 46. That is very fast growth, by the way, on hyperliquid. I decided to sell, and perfect sell-off, by the way. What did I sell at here? Does it tell me? Does it want to tell me? Doesn't want to tell me. Cool. So I'll go to trade history here. Position history. I closed it at 45.98, almost 46. We did go a little higher than that. The high was 47.31 actually, but I closed it at like right below 46, right over here. I'd say that's a pretty good trade overall, because after that we just started dropping. I put my trigger order again at 43. It bought exactly there, and it starts rising again. I'm already 280 in profit again. I made how much yesterday? 172? That was not bad. This isn't like any genius stuff. I'm not like a super savant person, but this was all just luck. Okay, I'll just put it as that. This was all luck. It was no specific technique. I just saw it rising over the weekend. I'm like, you know what? Instinctively, this just doesn't really make sense to be rising. I'm going to take a little profit here, even if that means I could potentially lose out on any potential further gains, because we are still in a downtrend for it nonetheless. And I'm like, and if we do retrace, at least we'll enter my entry price at 43. And exactly that happened. We hit a low of 42.91. Perfect snipe, and we started rising back up again. We're current price is at 47. And I'm at even more profit than what I was yesterday. I don't know if I should sell here. I don't think I will. I think we have officially bottomed out, because I've been saying this for the past week while we were crashing. Why are we crashing? None of it makes sense. It all seems to be manipulation. All seems to be focus changing towards the DEXs that have been taking over CT, right? Crypto Twitter. So I wasn't buying all of that. And I decided to stay out of the DEXs, although hypocritically I am in hyperliquid right now, but at least the less established ones. I'm still skeptical on Aster. I'm skeptical of the new ones that have been coming out. I saw Apex started coming out, which apparently is backed by Bybit. We'll go over the new ones, the newer ones that are coming out. There's even like a meme one, which I'll get into if I have time. It's a racist one. It's pretty funny though. What else did I do here? In terms of positions that I entered. Seems to be only hyperliquid. BitTensor I think I covered live, so other than that, really nothing much changed unless there's something in USDC. No, there's nothing. Pepe I entered. I think I entered that one live too. My last little bit I dropped in Pepe, which was a good buy, but I don't think it was enough to... Oh no, it was a big purchase. Dropped my average price down to 0.096025, which easily we can break out of this and I'll be in the green in no time. We are at basically a good bottom for Pepe, right? So high hopes on this one. See how it goes. My other meme coin play is, of course, Pengu. Seems like I got more in it than I do have on Pepe, and seems like it's closer to my entry price. We actually tapped it a little bit earlier today. And same deal, like we've practically bottomed out here. I don't think we're going to see any lower movements, and if we do, so be it, but I think like we're already extended to the losses at this point, and I've DCA'd a couple positions on it, and we're very close to my entry price already, so this should be green in no time, and I'll be taking profits soon on it. If I see a decent rise like we've been seeing in the past couple days, right? I like meme coins due to their volatility specifically, and a bit of degen activity here. I amplify that volatility, although not as much. I'm still relatively conservative when it comes to leverage. Only 3x leverage maximum is what I use, so I try not to get too excited or go further past that, because, hey, if you've been at like 5x, 10x leverage these past couple weeks, last week would have really hurt you. A lot of people. I've seen it. So, not me though. The one good thing about this whole last week's crash is that I didn't have to worry about any positions being liquidated. None at all. The only thing I had to worry about is, okay, how do I get money to buy the dip? I'm running out of money, and I did run out of money at this point. I mentioned the thing that I had with Solana on the spot market. I sold that Solana and I repurchased Solana again. And that was it's in another account on Standard Futures. I don't know how to explain this one. So I sold Solana on the spot market, 7,000. It was basically at profit because that Solana was purchased very long ago, right? So I sold that Solana and then I rebought, I think it was, what is 7,000 divided by 3? Here we go. Sure, 2,500, let's just say I put in. At 3x leverage, that basically covers the exact amount that I already had in the spot market. So it's as if nothing changed, but now I have whatever the remainder is, 7,000 minus 2,500, making me do math live over here, 4,500. That's what I now have in extra USDT or USDC, whatever I want, to buy any further dips if that were to happen. I was just preparing for the future kind of thing. Good thing, I guess, or maybe a bad thing. We did not get a dip. Now everything is rising again. Everything is in the green, which is good because overall I do want that to happen. But I would have wanted to maybe buy the dips a little more. And I still do have Sonic on the spot market as well. Speaking of Sonic, small recovery at last. It's not too bad. I don't remember if I sold it on the spot market here. I hope not, actually, going back. No, I have an open order at 28. Yeah, if this sells at 28, so be it. I'm okay with taking the profits there on the spot market. I'll make back what I was spending on fees from like transferring. Although like specifically with transferring, there was $0 in fees basically, which was really good. I like Sonic because of that. And Solana, surprisingly, given the dips of last week, I was expecting it to be like really congested because I was expecting a lot of people to kind of do the same thing that I was. But it turns out it wasn't that way. So good overall. Network was not congested and fees were really low and pretty fast. So that's great. Love it. Okay, back to this. Let's move on to analyze Ethereum. I saw it was finally turning green, which is good. We recovered finally no longer below 4,000 as it spooked a lot of people down here. I took advantage of it. I tried buying as best as I could. My last entry was like 3,900 something, very close to 4,000. And I should have, could have, put another order right where it dropped to. Because of the historical pivot levels, I would have based my entry off of this. Right over here, 3,000, what is this? 845. We dropped to 8,824. So that order would have been filled, and my average price would have been already much lower, maybe near a low 4,000 mark, but nonetheless, we're at my entry point. Pivot level is exactly where we are right now too. 4,128 is the current price. We need a break above 4,200 to head higher confirmed. It would flip the super trend green. In the meantime, downtrend is technically still there. Let me remove these historical pivot levels. I will draw the downtrend like that. It seems like it's longer term. I still dislike Ethereum for the moment. But hey, if it makes me money, so be it. There's a lot of boomers right now getting into the crypto stuff. By boomers, I just mean like institutional investors, I guess. They're seeing the potential with Bitcoin strategic reserves. They're seeing what Tom Lee is doing with Ethereum strategic reserves. Ethereum staking ETF from Rex Osprey has already come out. More staking ETFs will start coming out. A lot of ETFs approvals coming up for this month in October and November. And I think it's time alts will start getting all of that volume, quantitative easing, rate cuts. It's all pointing in one direction, and that is up for the rest of this year. And I'm going to take as much advantage of that as I can. I do have my take profits as well, but I don't know. Some of them I might consider changing up a little bit. Yeah. Moving on to XRP. It's also in the green for me. It was slightly red, like we were hovering close to my entry price. I had the opportunity of increasing my exposition on XRP, but in reality, I was like, okay, I've already got my entry price close to where the actual price was during the duration of the weekend. So I was like, I don't want to increase my exposition on here. Plus, I don't think that XRP can do as well as probably any other altcoin for this cycle. I could be proven wrong, and I would be glad to. Not really, but you know, I just don't realistically speaking, I don't think XRP is going to do as good. It will still do fine. Everything will do fine. But I want the best. So I would rather invest in lower cap altcoins, right? Not something that's already well established, well developed, centralized, and maybe's got little to nothing going on with it. I feel the same way about Cardano at the current moment. Because I feel like it's still very undervalued, but like nobody's talking about it for whatever reason. Current price is at 80, my entry is at 81. We're close to my entry price, and if we do break that, the super trend is also at my entry price. So once I'm in the positive, uptrend confirmed, I'm well positioned in Cardano. I will not touch it. So I'm leaving it there. We're currently met with the pivot level though at 80.79. It is what it is. Downtrend though, it should be broken really soon. This uptrend is gone, so I will remove that. And I'll draw, I don't even know how to draw this one. Doesn't look clean, so I don't like drawing it like as soon as we form a candle because it's just easily going to break. You don't know what's going to happen in the next overnight hours, right? So I'll just draw this one for now, and we do have a even longer one over here. Is it steeper? No, it isn't. Okay, so we still got downtrends to take care of on Cardano. But when we do, we'll be above $1 by then, so that is the dream. Keep holding on that one, I guess. Not much I could do. World Liberty Finance, it's been rising like crazy over the weekend. I remember covering this one live 2 days ago. I did not stream yesterday. I'm happy I did not take any profits, and rather I just put like a take profit at 23 because that is where, if you can't see the line over here, the super trend invalidates at that line, meaning that we do have a resistance. Might change that though. But the thing is, I don't know with what level. I could draw Fibonacci maybe and see where that leads me to. Nothing pretty. I could drop it to like 2306 because I'm nervous. I'm nervous that this is just gonna do one of these things where it's like inches from like hitting my take profit, and then it'll just crash again. And if I'm wise enough, or rather foolish, who knows, I could drop my take profit to like average out between two resistance levels, right? This Fibonacci at 0618, which is 2281, and then the super trend, because the super trend really is not like an actual indicator. It's just something for you to kind of visualize where uptrends or downtrends and validate. So I'd rather focus on something like that if I was to average these two out. Or maybe I'll just drop it exactly here. Because when it comes to take profits, you don't want to put it above a resistance. You want to put it below a resistance so that your take profit gets triggered and then it goes towards that resistance. Resistances are not necessarily exact levels. Rather, they're more like zones you got to pay attention to. So if I was to look at this as a zone, you're looking at like this zone is where it's possible to bounce, and you could put a take profit anywhere in here, but preferably like right below it, somewhere below it. I don't know. Or maybe I just take profits now, or maybe I'll regret that. You know what? I'll decide after the stream. Who cares? We'll move on. Let's go to Solana. Good rise, good recovery. Resistance at 210, which we just bounced off of. We hit a 210.94 high today. My entry price is 207. This order did not get filled because I put it after this drop happened. But yeah, I mean, I could have had that order filled. I was just too lazy or something and it didn't happen. That's why I put it after the fact. So we're in the green with Solana. That's all good. And I had this other trigger order at 177 in the unfortunate case that we do drop, but it does not look like that will be the case. Could have a drawdown maybe to 204 before we start taking off once again. Next resistance is 216, 217. Would it really be that though? Hold on. We bottomed out here. I'm looking for resistances. Forget what I said. That's looking like, yeah, maybe 215. You entered long at 201, 20x leverage, dog with hoodie. Oh boy. 20x, okay. What's your liquidation price? That's like really close then, right? 20x liquidation. Buddy, that is, okay. It's $10 down. Actually, I think you're fine. That means you're liquidate at 190. 190, I don't see that really happening. I think you're safe. Just for the time being. But hey, that means you're in really good profit too. Maybe if you're really scared, I don't know. It's up to you. Take profits if you want, but me personally, I'm playing the long game. That's why I'm just doing 3x and holding until October, November. Oh, you're doing partial take profits. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's a good way to manage it. Also, like maybe put a, I don't even know if you want to put a stop loss. It's up to you, man. I don't know exactly what the trades are looking like or how much money you're dealing with, so I guess that also plays a part in it. But from the way I see it, like this downtrend that I have is broken, and like I said, we could bounce a little from this resistance, like overnight decay, and then if Monday is a good day, we'll definitely be taking up until maximum like 215. If it's just a normal Monday where everyone's like, okay, you know, nothing big is happening. We're just going to be green today because futures was green last night. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. Not as bold as others. I get you. Okay. What exactly is happening? Why do these feds keep on talking? Why do they got so much to say all the time? Yep. Good stuff. All right, cool. Yeah, that's all I got to say about Solana. But yeah, it's looking good for me specifically. I think it'll perform well, of course. I don't have a take profit on this, and I don't necessarily know where to put it. I'll have to look at the... I don't even know. I don't think like the inflationary aspect of it or the tokenomics will matter at all. I definitely think we will blow above 300 regardless, because meme coins will just be so hot. They still are hot. Pump Fun is just going insane. And it's actually just a genuinely good coin. So I see it performing really well this cycle. Definitely above 300. That's me being like ultra conservative with Solana. If I was maybe being moderate or aggressive, I'd say 500. It's on a good day though. We'll see. What else do I have and want to look at? Sui, what are you doing? It's coming up. Okay. Resistance at basically my entry price, 330. 327's current price. 332 is my entry. Still a bit negative, but this small distance is $200. I'm well loaded up in Sui, and I think it's going to be explosive. When we hit our all-time high, that's 10 grand take profit if we do hit that. I'm leaving my profit there, nonetheless. Cool. Yeah, 20 minutes of TA. There you go. Other positions, they're just still there. I'm waiting for them to come back up. I don't think anything major to disclose out of all this. Did I buy more Aptos or something? I might have. I'll look at that. I bought the exact bottom. How perfect. It dropped my average price, but not by too much. I think I might have like purchased... I did. I purchased above my average price at one point because I was panicking on Aptos. I wanted more exposition. Well, there you go. I got more exposition, but at a higher cost for whatever reason. So this was a futile attempt of me trying to lower my average price to what it originally was. It's fine though. I think I'm pretty well loaded up in it. I gave myself a realistic take profit based off of decent analysis with like with tokenomics and its inflationary aspect. So I think 854 is doable. It might even blow above that, but I'm just being conservative with it. 854 my target for Aptos. And I've like checked the weekly charts of this all the time. It's hard to see in USDC chart, sorry. Let me go to USDT chart where we have more history. APT. I clicked USDC again. How smart of me. And now I'm not typing. I'm still holding my mic with my hand, so forgive me for seeming incapacitated when it comes to technology. But yeah, this is what I'm trying to say, right? Bottom, bottom, bottom. We're at the bottom right here. What's next? Come on. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. So yeah, that's what my projection is on it. I'm going to delete these before it looks awful in a 4-hour chart. Okay, cool. And my liquidation price, like I was saying, with 3x leverage, it's going to be around over here if you're entering near these prices. And we've never seen those numbers in our life. I think Aptos is a really safe play. What else did I think was a safe play? I think Polkadot. Was it Polkadot? Might have been. No, I don't think it was Polkadot. Polkadot's definitely seen worse. Yeah, it's still pretty good. And Polkadot's got a good governance update with its max supply. It doesn't mean that we're like fully deflationary at this point. It still will remain inflationary, but with limits. We're actually, you know, we see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to inflation on Polkadot, which was really absurd due to their high yields, 10% APY kind of stuff on average on most exchanges. So they kind of had to tone it down a little bit. It's going to hurt to the staking aspect of Polkadot, but I think long term, this was definitely necessary to avoid that inflationary aspect. In terms of other inflationary coins, mainly Sonic, it's really taken a big hit. Used to be Phantom. And with the new governance update, like I said, the new vote that they came out with, it was initially inflationary because they had to release a lot of tokens to afford a lot of stuff to, you know, the treasury thing, the ETF thing, and something else with other companies, the government getting involved, I think. No, I don't think so. Not with Sonic. Whatever. But they're changing the transaction fees. Some of it will be burned, and that would cause a deflationary aspect in the long term. And hey, 400,000 transactions per second, that's nothing to sneeze at. It's pretty good, and I've got a lot of faith in the project. Huge potential. So that's my play on Sonic. There we go. I like this recovery on Bitcoin. It leads the way. We're going to see everything else breaking out of their downtrends to flip into an uptrend for Bitcoin. No, for Bitcoin. For every other altcoin, since Bitcoin has just done that. All right, cool. Excellent. Let's move on to our news. We've got not a lot of news. Nothing too major geopolitically, but a lot of DEX stuff that I do want to talk about, specifically with Aster, Hyperliquid, Arthur Hayes, Mexi CEO, etc. We'll see. Trump says that we have a real chance for greatness in the Middle East. All are on board for something special. For the first time ever, we will get it done. He's been teasing this. What is he talking about? Is he talking finally about a ceasefire between Hamas, Israel? Will they stop the war in Gaza? Whatever the case may be. It seems like the whole world is like starting to be like, okay, yeah, we're kind of getting tired of this stuff. Israel, please just clean it up and move on. There was also talks about Netanyahu wanting to basically annex the West. Is that right? Annex the West Strip, the Gaza Strip, whatever. And Trump said that he will not allow that to happen. He just wants them, I guess, to stop the war and have peace at last. Peace, of course, will be bullish for Bitcoin. And another catalyst for us to look forward to. Will it be an indefinite thing? I don't think so. I think something is going to happen in the Middle East in the future that will just continue the wars. It's always been a thing, so we can't really guarantee anything at that point. So, yeah, we'll see. Or maybe this is all just a nothing burger, but nonetheless, positive hints coming from Trump. We'll see. He also posts this stuff on Truth Social. This is a real post, by the way, saying, "You're fired" to Jerome Powell. In a cartoonish, I guess this is AI generated post. So yeah, pretty funny. He's on our side. He wants those rates lowered as well. Lowering rates weakens the dollar, increases the value of assets, and Bitcoin will benefit from that. So will the altcoins. We are getting rate cuts. It's practically, I wouldn't say it's priced in, but maybe we are pricing that in right now. The odds are in our favor. We've got good odds for next meeting. 25 basis point rate cut. It's like above 80%, I think. Right? 89%. That's really good. And then for end of year, so we got 2 more meetings for this year. One in October 29, one in December 10. December 10 is looking like a 63% chance that we get the second or the third rate cut it would be this year. Second rate cut, 89% chance is coming up in October. Third rate cut in December, 63% chance. This is the one that most people are looking at because it's like, okay, are we really going to get this rate cut? Yes or no? It would all really depend on the economic data that we be getting for the upcoming months, right? But until then, I think we should just enjoy the ride while it lasts, especially when it comes to the alt season. Hey, maybe this percentage is like the determining factor of whether this whole thing extends into December, or maybe we top out in November, which I think that's what a lot of people are expecting, myself included. Like October will be Uptober, which is what they're always saying. Like things will start rising like crazy. We'll see those 10-20% daily gains. It's going to be great. And then November, by that point, like, yeah, maybe we top out on most of it. Maybe Bitcoin makes its top wherever that may be. My personal target for it is 135,000. That's being super conservative, of course. People think it's 150. People think it's 170, 180. Some are a bit more extreme and aggressive. 200, 220, 250,000. I don't think we're going to hit those at all, to be honest. Maybe in the distant future, sure. But for the time being, no. But yeah, like, something might happen by December that makes things crash. Usually people do sell off either way to reduce the gains that they make, you know, for tax evasion purposes. Whatever. It's up to them to do whatever they want, but we'll see. It's typically like that. Some people say it's a Santa rally, things will be good. Who knows? I'll just play it safe and take my profits where I think they're appropriate. This one was funny. The Colombian president, Petro Gustavo, stood on a New York City street and urged U.S. soldiers to disobey orders and incite violence. So the Colombian president in New York is saying this stuff, urging U.S. soldiers to disobey orders and incite violence. And the State Department of State, whatever, will now be revoking Petro's visa due to his reckless and incendiary actions. Funny. So we're basically deporting the Colombian president at this point. That's interesting. Whatever's going on there. Things to fear about and to be afraid, or I think these are things that people were scared about from last week and why we basically dropped during that time. 73% chance of a US government shutdown by October 1st. I don't even know. Why would this have to impact Bitcoin? It seems like it does, though, because Wall Street investors, they're the driving force behind all that volume. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. I don't think it's going to shut down. I feel like it's always just this thing that they keep announcing but never happens. So I'm more inclined to ignore that. We did lose a lot of our September gains. This was just a couple hours ago. I'm not saying that this happened a couple hours ago. Like, this was the market sentiment a couple hours ago. 350, what is this number, billion dollars were wiped out as the market cap fell from $4.07 trillion to 3.7 trillion currently. The crypto market cap. Every dollar that is in Bitcoin and every altcoin and stablecoin is $3.7 trillion currently, which was 4.07 trillion just a couple weeks ago when we were topping out originally. So all the gains for September were basically wiped out during the duration of this month. Because, yeah, fair enough. We started off at around 107, 108, and we rose, right? But then we came back down to 109. So people were getting nervous about this, saying, okay, it looks like September will be a red month. I thought it's going to be barely green, and it seems like that is what's more likely to happen. We're going to be barely green for September, like a 1 or 2% monthly return in the monthly return charts that you see for Bitcoin specifically. But I don't know, even given this pump right now, I think that percentage is a little higher, but I don't know if we're going to keep this up forever because we're nearing over purchased areas, which that could be like the 114,000 area. But I think we're going to like slow down overnight or something. I don't think it's going to immediately shoot up all the way up here. It's going to take a lot. But yeah. Comparing also the crypto market caps since last year, it's not that big of a difference. Seems like most of that money is in Bitcoin, hence why Bitcoin dominance is still a little high. But once that dominance starts dropping, of course, that's the indicator that alt season is starting. November 26th of last year, we had a crypto market cap of 3.3 trillion, and now we have 3.8 trillion as of 2 days ago. So really nothing much has really changed, right? Also part of the reason why I think we have not really topped out. Like, this is a bit sad. We're basically the same amount of money that is in crypto last year when Trump won the election is the same as today. So not much has changed. We need that huge capital inflow, something that will make markets rise like crazy. And of course, global M2 money supply we're seeing always hitting all-time highs. I don't see the effects of that hitting the market cap of crypto yet. So that's still yet to happen. We're still waiting for that. And we see the decoupling. It's really massive at this point, the gap between those two. So I think it's about time something big must happen. Another indicator for that, the balance of Bitcoin on the OTC desks is hitting new all-time lows, meaning that a supply shock is incoming. The OTC meaning over-the-counter trading. It's like if you want to buy a large amount of Bitcoin, you have two options. You do it OTC or you go to a spot market on any crypto exchange. And if you do that, you purchase a lot of Bitcoin on the spot market, you'll make the price shoot up. But if you're doing this OTC, it's like privately managed between you and another entity. And you say, hey, I want to buy, I don't know, 1,000 Bitcoins. They'd be like, sure, here's the price and here's what I'll give it to you at. You'd be like, okay, here's your fiat money. Give me all your Bitcoins. It's literally just a transaction between two people. And you don't see this happen on the markets. It has no impact on it. That's what people do if they're managing large amounts of Bitcoin, whether that's buying or selling, right? But those sellers are running out of Bitcoin to provide. So eventually, those people are going to have no choice but to go to the spot market and purchase more Bitcoin because there's just not enough Bitcoins. And that's what the supply shock means. It starts kicking in. Like, it's basically supply and demand. I guess you guys understand the concept. The crypto market cap open interest is also at a 4-week low. All the leverage that was built up this month has been wiped out, which is a good thing. The open interest has gone down by $21 billion from its peak. This means the amount of people that were leveraged, over-leveraged, of course, was insane amounts, right? And you're just inflating the market with open interest, with leverage, right? Hitting all-time highs and making newer highs, and I don't know how to explain it, but you keep rising with all this leverage that is opened. That's not really that healthy for the markets because it's not organic growth. It's all inflated. It's all artificial. And at the end of the day, when things start cascading downwards, whether that be to bad fundamentals or end of cycle or a bear market, everything starts dropping again and it cascades really hard. And it's just brutal because there's just so much open interest, over leveraged positions. It's not good. It's going to look nasty, a big disgusting drop. We don't want to see that. So the market makers, of course, manipulate the prices, make us crash like this, wiping out all those longs, and we're basically starting off on a clean plate right here, which that's why it's a good thing. All those, like, maybe, I don't know, somebody's opening here with 100x, 25x, I don't know, give me a random number, x. And then, what, you wanted those guys to make a lot of profits? No. The money makers, market makers, sorry, they see these positions here and they're like, you know what, we're just going to make those guys lose right here real quick. Mass short the markets, make a lot of profits from here, and we'll bottom out whenever we bottom out. So yeah, that's why from here we're starting off on a clean plate, like I said. Just kind of adjusting this. Okay, cool. I did not mean to close that. ETFs. That's also coming out in October. Very important. I do want to talk about the Solana ETF that we have. The only one from Rex Osprey. It seems like, I don't know why Rex Osprey is the only one just getting ETFs approved and launching them compared to every other company. I guess they're not a big one, so it's easier for them or whatever. The only Solana ETF available in the US has quietly accumulated over $300 million since launching. For context, when Ethereum ETFs launched, the following inflows in the 61st days were like this. So BlackRock, 1.2 billion, Fidelity, 497 million, Bitwise, 319 million. Lots of millions of dollars, okay? From all these big companies. Given Rex Osprey's size, relative to giants like BlackRock or Fidelity, this is a remarkable result, right? You're basically accumulating as much as what Bitwise accumulated in its first 61 days for Ethereum ETFs, right? I don't even think it's been 60 days since the Solana ETF has existed, right? I think it's SSK, the ticker. Let me go find. SSK. Yes. Since July. Okay, never mind. It has been 60 days then. August, September. Yeah. Hey, they've been doing good, I guess. And they also have their Dogecoin ETF out. Their XRP ETF spot is out. And also an Ethereum staking ETF from Rex Osprey. They're ahead in the game, but they're not a big company. But they're leading the way nonetheless, and all of these big companies will eventually bring these massive volumes into all those ETF numbers that we know and love. So those altcoins, those tokens, whatever. Q4, of course, we're expecting to be really good. On average, these are the returns for Bitcoin. In October, it's on average a 27% return since the inception of its history. November, 38% return, and December, 10% return. If we just take these averages and apply them to today's numbers, which is probably not the right thing to do because historical data does not mean the future will do the same, but it's just, you know, speculation. This could imply that by December or end of year, we could see Bitcoin at $214,000. And that's what people use, I guess, to reinforce their ideas or their targets that, yeah, 200,000 is absolutely possible for Bitcoin. I don't know. I think that's a bit too much. You're requiring a doubling on the market cap. That's a lot. It's a lot of money. But hey, I'll be glad to be proven wrong. But I'm going to play it safe nonetheless. 135,000, my target on Bitcoin. Right up there. Not even that far up. But yeah. Michael Saylor confirmed will be buying. He posted the chart. You know the chart. So we'll see a guaranteed post tomorrow that he purchased some more Bitcoins. That guy's always buying. OTC, of course, that's why we don't see any big reflections. Or maybe he bought on the spot market and that's why we're seeing a rise. That'd be pretty funny if tomorrow he's like, yeah, by the way, we purchased on the spot market because there's a supply shock and there's no more Bitcoins on the OTC market for us to buy. Imagine if MicroStrategy just does that. That would be pretty funny. Hyperliquid and Arthur Hayes. So if you don't know the little backstory behind it, I have another post that explains Arthur Hayes' whole backstory. This is the BitMEX CEO. This dude right here. He was really bullish on Hyperliquid. This is before Aster, before every other DEX came out or started being popular. They were already out. And he said, yeah, I'm going to be holding it onto this. It's going to 200x or whatever. He gave some absurd target for it. Price pumps, makes an all-time high. He sells, and he's like, haha, I had to sell to afford my little Ferrari, haha. Everybody's like, okay, pal. Hyperliquid crashes, and everybody's like, okay, well, probably some insider trading, right? Because he sold at the exact top, and now we were, of course, exact top, I mean, like, almost $60, and now price is now $40 or whatever. So what's going on with this fella? They're now trying to pass a vote to blacklist Arthur Hayes from rebuying into Hype because he did announce that he was going to be buying into it again. Community said that his trades are the ultimate sell signal, warning that Hype chart could turn into a Bart Simpson haircut. Because he's basically like buying and selling at the right prices, I guess. You know the Bart Simpson pattern, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. It's price does this, you get wobbly movement, and then it comes back down. Because that's Bart Simpson. Enjoy my drawing. Please don't clip that or whatever. Anyways. Short-term outlook on Hype is neutral to bearish, as the fallout from Hayes' exit keeps sentiment defensive and volatility high. I beg to differ. I'm making really good... Can I get rid of this? I'm making really good profit on Hyperliquid, so... I'm scared. Do I sell now? That's 300 profit right here. Sell pressure from major whales and the blacklist debate created a spike in engagement, yet open interest and volume are both sliding. Clear signs buyers are backing off for now. Again, I don't know. This is a 3 a.m. post. Wow. Anyways, here's the backstory of this guy, Arthur Hayes. Born 1985, Detroit, Michigan. Parents worked for General Motors. He moved to Buffalo, New York as a child. Attended Nichols School, graduated in 2004. 2008, he completed a bachelor's degree in economics and finance at Wharton. Started working at Dutch Bank in Hong Kong in 2008. Impressive. As a trader of equity derivatives at Dutch Bank until 2011. He then joined Citigroup as Delta One trader from 11 to 13. He got laid off from Citigroup in 13. Wonder why? No, this was after the 2008 crash. What am I talking about? He became a co-founder of BitMEX with Ben Dello and Samuel Reed in 2014. He then introduced perpetual swaps on BitMEX, so he's familiar with centralized exchanges and perpetuals, all that stuff. He then got indicted by the U.S. Department of Justice in October 2020. He stepped down as the BitMEX CEO in 2020. I did not know this. He pleaded guilty in 2022 and got a $10 million fine. He served 6 months home detention in 2022. I'm pretty sure everybody served 6 months of home detention in 2022. It was pandemic times, was it not? Or maybe not exactly in the year 22, but 20 or 21, we get the point. He was then pardoned by Trump on March 29 of this year. He then co-founds 100X Group post BitMEX. He becomes the CIO at Maelstrom Fund. He invests in Hyperliquid token in 25, and here's his address. He held 96,000 Hype tokens and sold them all for $5.1 million. He now has netted $823,000 in profit from Hyperliquid. And there he is, just living the best life, of course. So there you go. Sketchy guy. I don't know. I'm no longer that much of a fan. He also gave a crazy price prediction on Bitcoin. It seems like that's what he does. He buys low, gives a crazy price prediction for the future. Everybody believes him and starts buying, and then he ends up selling way earlier. And then just he disappears for a while. Seems to be the influence he's got over these markets. It's impressive. And I fear CZ might do the same thing, especially with Aster. Speaking of Aster, here we are. Yeah, Aster versus Hyperliquid. It's the big DEX war that's going on. Aster, of course, being backed by Binance. I did a bit of research over the weekend here, actually. And Hyperliquid being their own chain. Everything is their own chain. All the transactions, all the orders, all the liquidation levels, margin, and even their stablecoin. It's all their own, in their own ecosystem, the Hyperliquid ecosystem. Okay, cool. And Aster, it's some people argue that maybe it is not as decentralized as we would have thought. They're taking a lot of money from Binance. CZ admitted to co-founders helping with investing and building Aster project, whereas Hyperliquid just started from scratch, kind of its own thing, right? Those are the two differentiators there. In terms of their exchanges themselves, they both have their pros and cons. Aster has like stocks and things like that you could trade. Hyperliquid does not. Small stuff like that. Launch date for it on Aster. I'm sure we're just talking about the tokens because the exchanges existed for much longer. But yeah, September 17 is when it launched. And the Hyperliquid token launched November 30 of last year, 2024. The performance since its launch, Aster's already completely outperforming Hyperliquid. But I think that is all just short-term hype, not to no pun intended, or pun intended, whatever. So I wouldn't know if I really trust these numbers. I think Aster is still pretty overvalued. Compare it to a DEX like maybe Uniswap. It's probably an unfair comparison, but I saw a chart just basically looking at this. Let me go to Uniswap. Where are you? It's still up here. It's still, top 30, so it's pretty good. But, it's had its days of glory when it launched in 2021, and it's kind of been forgotten about as bigger and better things have started coming out. We're probably going to see the same thing with Aster, in my opinion. Like, this could be the big rise that we were seeing with, let me get the other chart ready here. I think we're in this phase with Aster at the current moment, where it's just so exciting, so much people are buying. Yes, it's great. It's the Hyperliquid killer. It's backed by CZ. We trust in CZ. But then, over time, more tokens get released. A lot of tokens from Aster will be released with in airdrops, right? So lots of tokens to be released into the circulation, the circulating supply. Sure, there's a maximum of 8 billion, but still there's 6 billion that still has to come out. So that kind of spooks me a little bit. What else do we have here? Weekly volume. Hyperliquid still wins on average. Although we've been seeing some 24-hour volumes where Aster has been outpacing Hyperliquid. But like I said, once again, I think that's just short-term hype, right? Total value locked, Aster only has $655 million, whereas Hyperliquid is well established with $3.5 billion in total value locked. Lots of insider allocation in Aster, 95%, held by 6 wallets. And Hyperliquid, on the contrary, is only 23.8% for the team and broad distribution. And airdrops, they will be releasing... It's more tokens, but less of the token supply. So 8% for Aster, 704 million tokens, compared to Hyperliquid, 310 million tokens, which is more of its supply, 31%. Here's another chart from a random. Decentralized, both are. Multi-chain, Aster is multi-chain, Hyperliquid is not. Aster has like Arbitrum, don't make me guess here, Ethereum, Solana, and Binance. It has stocks, Hyperliquid does not. UX, Hyperliquid does have better UX, user experience, or yeah, interface, I guess. Deep liquidity, they both have that. Hidden orders, Aster does have that because that was something that CZ wanted to make a priority. The dark pool, right? Because the issue with Hyperliquid is that everything is on chain, and you can see that with Hyperscan. Hyperscan, purr like a cat. So people could see that, and it was this huge thing. I'm sure you guys remember. Oh, this Hyperliquid whale just bought 40x on Bitcoin long. He must know something, or a short on Ethereum, whatever the case may be. And you had people, I talked about this before, they create group chats and start hunting their stop losses or their liquidation prices. Because it's all on chain, we can see where you liquidate. And, you know, people are keeping track on it. Oh, look, he added more margin. He's scared of us. Haha. He's increasing his liquidation, or, yeah, his distance of his liquidation. That kind of stuff. Which, it kind of disincentivizes the big whales to be like, okay, I put in a trade and it's literally the whole world against me at this point. Everybody sees my liquidation price and they want me to lose money here. We see this with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate uses Hyperliquid. We see him getting liquidated and we just clown on him on Twitter. That's literally all we do. Same with James Wynn. James Wynn's another example. User of Hyperliquid. We all see where his liquidation prices are and we start hunting his liquidation prices because people just hate him. Just because, right? I'm sure they have their reasons for hating him. I don't know much about him. I'm neutral on him. But yeah, there's that issue, right? The orders are all visible to the world to see. It's good for transparency and decentralization, but it goes to a certain extent. With the dark pool that Binance, well, CZ, not Binance, CZ is trying to get Aster to introduce is to hide all of that stuff, make it less transparent for those details so that, you know, big whales can trade comfortably without the fear that people are going to be hunting their stop losses or their liquidation prices. So there's that. The buybacks, they're both using revenue to buy back their own coins. Native stablecoin, I don't know what you mean by that for Aster. We don't have an Aster stablecoin. We have a Binance stablecoin that's garbage. But yeah, Hyperliquid has their USDH. Native stablecoin. What do you mean by that? Anyway, mobile app. Apparently, Aster has a mobile app. Yeah, I've seen it. Hyperliquid does not. Yeah. So they have their pros and cons. It's really up to you. But I don't use Hyperliquid. I don't use Aster. If I was to use, if I had to, like if I had a gun at my head and I was forced to use one of those two to trade for the rest of my life, I would probably use Hyperliquid. Oddly enough, yeah. Here's an example of the 24-hour volume of Aster flipping Binance futures. Okay, so it wasn't Hyperliquid, but they flip Binance futures. We know Binance is the centralized exchange and Aster is meant to be the decentralized exchange, both managed by the same entity, right? Binance ecosystem. Despite having a fraction of its open interest, Aster still surpasses Binance futures, right? Meaning that the demand for decentralized exchanges is there. And that's even given the fact that Binance itself, the centralized exchange, has been performing really well and is hitting all-time highs as we speak. Are we back up there? I don't remember. We are past 1,000. Never mind. We've dropped. Hey, good pump so far. We hit 1,000 here, but yeah, very recently we were at new all-time high 1,083 ultimately on Binance token. So, yep, that just goes to show the demand is there for decentralized exchanges. Bluefin is one I'm more keen on maybe investing in. We don't have it on BingX, so blue is the ticker. Yeah, we don't have it. So it's starting to gain in popularity as well. This belongs to the ecosystem of Sui, and Sui is a great project as well. So yeah, it's kind of starting to gain more traction in recent times. Here's like the chart, I guess. It's basically all-time high in terms of DEX volume, right? According to DeFi Llama. So that's good. Can't wait to see more for it. Issues with Aster. We're starting to see more issues with it. It's still relatively new, like I said, but you can't even, some people wouldn't even give it that excuse because it's just a rebrand from an older exchange, is what Aster really is. So Aster, the so-called hyperliquid killer, it actually blocks withdrawals if you made too much profit. So much for decentralization, am I right? There's a 24-hour withdrawal profit limit. That's pretty funny. So, yeah, people are saying it seems like the only one allowed to get rich here is CZ. And people are like, we're all just making CZ rich with this. Mr. Beast is also, for whatever reason, getting into this Aster coin. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we do one of these and we stay down. Because we're at the lowest token supply that we will ever have. The hype has already passed. There's more DEXs coming out. Why do you expect this to go higher than this? Realistically, 245. That's kind of my views on it. Maybe maybe the hype continues going on because it's just really new still, right? Maybe it will continue going on. Maybe we can make another all-time high, sure. But don't expect us to be making all-time highs 3 months from now is all I'm going to say. New tokens will be released into circulation. There's a constant flow of tokens from there. And the hype will die down, ultimately. Maybe they release better features. Maybe they become better than Hyperliquid. In that case, sure. But until then, like, it's got its cons against Hyperliquid. I don't know if I'd fully trust it at these moments. Yeah. So there's that. There was also an issue with it in one of the trading things, but they handled it appropriately, I guess. But an issue nonetheless, which is an inconvenience, and it happened recently. There's a new token that came out called XPL, which I think if I have time, I'll try to talk more about it. Cool project and concept, Plasma, XPL. New token that just came out. I got liquidated on it for shorting it. It just kept on rising. It's been doing really well. Okay, now it's dropped 16%. Wow, after I, of course, lose money. Yeah, I shorted over here somewhere, and I got liquidated up there. Topped out at 169, current price is 139. That's not even that bad, but really volatile. Look at this sleeping giant activity. But anyways, there was a glitch in the Aster perpetual exchange, which caused a lot of forced liquidations on the XPL perpetual pair. Aster has fully reimbursed affected users in USDT. So there you go. You got liquidated by accident because of a technical failure on the exchange. They will refund you. Because it wasn't your fault. So I guess that's nice, but yeah. And also talk about the native stablecoin thing. They're using USDT. What do they mean, native stablecoin? Am I missing something? What do they have their own stablecoin that I'm not aware of? This is Hyperliquid stablecoin. I'm looking it up. Does Aster have their own stablecoin? No, I don't think they do. So that was fake news, whatever that post was showing me. Whatever. Unless I'm misunderstanding completely. Anyways, speaking of Plasma XPL token, It's really popular at this time. It's basically, from what I understood, an XRP killer, like a payment transferring thing with, they're going for 0 fees, like no fees at all. You transfer, you send payments to somebody, no fees. None of that 0.000 something amount of tokens that you'll see on Solana, Sui, or Sonic for transfers, or even Stellar for that matter. But they're actually zero fees, according to this XPL. And it's been really rising in popularity because of that. Layer 1 blockchain, so it's its own ecosystem. It's for global stablecoin payments. Stablecoin payments. Okay. Yeah, it's basically a competitor to XRP at this point. 0 fee USDT transfers. Custom gas tokens to help realize the stablecoin promise of permissionless access to financial services for everyone everywhere. No limits. And no fees. Good. Seems hopeful, but I do not want to enter this after it's already taken off. Maybe it takes off even further. It's a bit of a stretch at this point. We are very oversold on it. I'll wait for a good retracement, and maybe I'll consider entering at 85 if that ever happens. I don't think it will, but we'll see. This chart has more data. This one does not. We only have data from 25 of September. 25 of September, that was like over here after it rose. Meaning that, yeah, we had access to this in perpetual futures on Bing X from way before August of this year, 22 of August. So it's already been out in a month in pre-launch, I guess. Lucky you if you were able to take advantage of that, because this is a huge return. It performed the best, I think, out of, well, 60% so far. No, that's a lie. That is a lie, because you would have bought down here. Let's say you bought this as soon as it came out. It's a 180% pump, and if you held to the actual all-time high, if you were lucky enough to snipe that, that's about a 240% return on your money in just 1 month. But who would have known, right? Oh, and about this post specifically, it's so popular that it even passed Hyperliquid's own token on spot volume specifically on Hyperliquid. So this is not even futures, right? Interesting. Here's people complaining about the whole DEX situation. I think there is like a dilution kind of going on because there's just so many options at this point. Too many competitors. I don't know. I don't really know what to think about it. I just hope we stick with one. Seems like Hyperliquid is the most popular, the best one, the easiest one to use. So that's the one I would stick with. If DEX is like Hyperliquid or Aster, allow users to deposit and trade on 100x leverage without smart contracts, then what is the point of Ethereum or Solana? If stablecoin chains like Plasma, which we just talked about, if that can transfer USDT for free anywhere instantly, what is the point of Ethereum, Tron, Cardano, XRP, or Solana? That's why XPL would be a good token. That's why Hyperliquid or Aster would be a good token. I still go with Hyperliquid here. The security offered by Ethereum would be relevant if it was digital gold, but Bitcoin has that rule. Tron is already under threat due to Plasma. Cardano and XRP never found a product market fit anyway. I'll agree with that. They're kind of low volatility, kind of... They seem like they're ready to be replaced, is the way I see it. They're still good. They're still OG projects. They're still backed and trusted by a lot of people. But, I don't know. If they don't step it up, there's going to be other stuff that takes their place. That's all I'm going to say about that. How can Ethereum or Solana stay relevant in the future? Vitalik's blogs and Solana's memes won't cut it. Yeah, that will give leeway for other stuff to take over, of course. But only time will tell, of course. Aster, we know, is the DEX of Binance. Apex is another one that's been coming out, and I wanted to discuss a little bit. Another DEX, guys. It's out new, 30% up today. Hope you bought in early. Oh, we could have actually bought this. It was crashing to 158. I was not aware of that. I did see it come out, but I was like, it's just another DEX. Who cares? Backed by Bybit, which is what I mentioned. Avantis, a DEX from Coinbase, which that's one I'd probably be a little more interested in. And we've seen Sun, we've talked about it before, the DEX of Tron. It's been kind of underperforming. Does Avantis exist here? I think it does. AVNT. It does. So you can invest in these DEXs already. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? But I think this is like overhyped as well. Still relatively new. I don't know. All this like excess amount of DEXs available to you just makes me not want to invest in them at all, because it's like, which one is it, pal? Apex, I don't even know. It feels too speculative. Nobody likes Tron, so rip Sun. And Avantis, I think, will be good. Aster, I've already given my thoughts on it. It's either Hyperliquid or Avantis at this point for me. Because I trust Coinbase more than Binance. Although you shouldn't. I don't even know. Furthermore stuff. Oh, there's another one. ARK. AARK from OKX. Do we even have this? Backed by OKX, I assume. We do not have this one. So I guess if you want to try to get in this one early, you could look at that. But once again, there's just way too many DEXs. I'd rather just stay out of it completely. Maybe that's me shooting myself in the foot, but rather be safe than sorry at this point. Bitcoin is crashing. It is so over. But yeah, that concludes the stream. Wow, I've been talking for over an hour again. I try to keep them short, but I just end up going on and on for too long, and I apologize if that's boring. But anyways, I just hope you guys learned something new, something refreshing. There's my insights on the whole crypto market for the time being. Where are we headed? We're headed up for the rest of this week. Maybe that's hopium. I hope not. We'll see. No, but really, like, there's no real reason for us to be crashing. Like, what's the bad news? Why? What? Oh, we're not getting a third rate cut? Oh, boo-hoo. We're getting 2, though. And we're getting a lot of ETFs coming out. And we're really oversold since last week, so this was necessary. You could argue, oh, CME gap from... Where would the CME gap even look like? Yeah, send the coin dog with hoodie. I'll have a look at it if you want. If it's available on the exchange. I could look it up on TradingView. It's fine either way. I do want to look at CME gaps. I mean, it's not even open yet, but let's just say hypothetically it opens. Oh, it did open. Here's your CME gap. Closed here, opened here. CME gap between 110 and 111,000. That's not even that bad. If Monday ends up crashing, I hope we crash to here. Lowest point guaranteed on Monday, 110K, and then we rise from there. Ski Mask Dog, Representative Mike Collins bought in. I did see that. Mike Collins bought into that. I heard he's really down on it though, right? I saw it on Quiver Quantitative, I think. What's the ticker for it? It's just Ski. We don't have it here. Let me find on CoinMarketCap real quick. Ski Mask Dog. Here we are. Yeah, it's not listed on BingX. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, huge rise, and it's crashed all the way down here. Oh boy. Typical meme coin activity. I don't know. I've just heard of it because of that congressman that bought it. Like, I'm going to try to find the post, actually. It's from... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Quiver. Want. I guess I could just look up Ski Mask Dog, can't I? Mask Dog. I just wanted to see how much, like, he was down. It showed over here. It is. This is when he bought it. Bought $30,000 of that coin back in December of last year. Yes, but show me more. Because I saw, like, it was recent. There was an update on it. Quiver, whatever. He's down 80% on it. January 2. He bought another 15,000 more. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like he was just gambling on this one. He added 15,000 more. March 2nd. March 13. June 6. July. It seems like we're getting closer. I don't know. Okay, so we bought in December, right? I don't have a big chart to look at, but I have this. December. Oh, yeah. So when he bought... Oh, he might have bought at the top. Depending on when he disclosed the purchase compared to when which date he filed it, would have been the explosion of that. Congressman buying a meme coin. But it seems like, yeah, we've kind of crashed all the way back down to 003. I don't know. What are we looking like in closer data? Closer data, we're looking pretty low. I shouldn't not look at 1 year chart. Where are you buying it on? Because I don't even have the option to buy it on my end. Even in perpetual futures, there's not a lot of options. I'm assuming you would just buy it on spot, whether that's on Gate.io or MEXC. I don't know most of these other ones. I've heard of CoinX, Uniswap, of course. I mean, yeah. I guess. I'm not sure how well it could perform, to be honest. Circulating supply. It's all out there. So you don't want to, you don't got to worry about inflation on this. That's the good thing. So like, it's not like it's going to decay until 0 unless everybody that's in it sells off. If the meme coins do get popular again, yeah, it'll start doing well. It's on base. Okay. Okay. Seems decent. I personally, though, I don't think I would. Just me. Interesting. Okay, okay. But yeah, you do you. If you really want to do it, I think it's got the potential, right? There's no risk of inflation on it. It's all just going to be like the hype of meme coins. If that really starts kicking in, you're going to see a lot of meme coins, of course, start performing well during that season, right? Once one of them starts taking off, more will follow, and that one's a relatively low market cap one, though. I don't know if people are going to pay too much attention to it. Is that all it's got going on for it? Is just the representative purchased? This congressman bought it? I feel like that's all there is. The big hype around it. Who knows? Yeah. I swear I saw like a really recent post about it, though. Maybe I'm just tripping. Is it this one? No. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably tripping. I thought I saw a post very recently about it. Maybe it's just a rerun. Yeah, okay. Great, that's all. We'll see if that CME gap gets filled. Brian Jung and his group Kaizen are also invested. I don't know who those guys are. Brian Jung and CEO of Kraken. Okay. Yeah, it's all community as well. You got to look at the community. Big thing with meme coins. It's got the community backing it, then yeah, could perform well. Me, I'm just keeping it conservative with my meme coin plays. I'm just keeping it with Penguin Pepe. That's it. Because I genuinely do like those coins. They're not that small in market cap. They're not that large in market cap. They're kind of in like that sweet spot. It's recognizable. People will remember it. We see it like pretty prevalent. Pepe is always a good meme, and Pengu, of course, on crypto Twitter. You saw that whole craze of they might even get into NFTs, right? Because of the people changing their profile pictures to their whole Pengu stuff. The Pengu with like a Binance logo or a Coinbase logo, all that stuff. It was pretty cool. So yeah. All right, awesome. Well, that'll conclude the stream for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be discussing maybe what those feds talk about, if anything important gets mentioned at all. Although I doubt it. And the only important thing next week specifically is non-farm payrolls and unemployment on Friday will help us determine whether or not we get that third rate cut, which obviously we will.